In Arizona, the Fantastic Four tries to stop a hijacked vehicle rampaging through the streets. Ben expresses frustration over Doom's growing influence, while Reed Richards insists they've overcome tough situations before. As a hijacker fires at Reed, Sue Storm blocks the attack with her invisible shield and destroys the weapon. Johnny Storm questions their next move, mentioning Doom's re-education centers, while Ben says they need a bigger plan. The scene ends as the hijacked vehicle crashes through a guardrail, with Reed still on top and Ben bracing for impact. As Reed parachutes the hijacked vehicle into the water, he explains that Doom's free schools and services make him look like a legitimate ruler. Ben believes that Doom is always planning something sinister, while acknowledging Doom's political strategy is winning over the public. Johnny Storm suggests they don't need to overpower Doom, but instead make him look weak and angry. Ben agrees, realizing, that's how you burn down a legend. You make him look like a chump. Sue gets a message from Valeria, who asks if she can use the teleporter to travel to New York to meet her friend Bentley, to which Sue agrees. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four discusses how to take down Doom, with Ben stating that embarrassing him in public is the best way to weaken him. Reed reveals that he has tracked security changes in New York, confirming that Doom will be making an important speech at the United Nations the next morning. Valeria, aware of this, arrives at the Baxter Building through a portal, where someone off-panel acknowledges her punctuality. She responds by saying, "You must know this is important to me." Valeria arrives at her secret meeting with Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Doom, who greets her warmly, embracing her as he says, Doom is pleased to see how punctual his goddaughter can be. The moment highlights their close and complex bond, as Valeria willingly seeks out Doom despite her family's opposition. The chapter title, The Free World, hints at the larger ideological conflict between Doom's rule and the heroes trying to stop him. Doom acknowledges her cleverness in sneaking past security unnoticed. She admits to bending the truth about her visit, just as Doom does in his own dealings, reinforcing their mutual understanding. Doom expresses his unique connection with Valeria, stating that few truly comprehend his vision and love. Valeria, unwavering, insists on complete honesty and asks him directly, "Tell me exactly what you're planning." Doom says he should show her instead, so he snaps his fingers, instantly teleporting himself and Valeria to a municipal government site in a Canadian city. Valeria is amazed by the sudden travel, while Doom explains that this location symbolizes democracy, suffrage, and representative governance. When Valeria questions if he is justifying municipal government, Doom firmly responds, "No, Valeria." He then declares that democracy itself is irrelevant to him, emphasizing, "Democracy. This one. Anyone. It does not matter." Valeria challenges Doom by asking him to justify rejecting government while avoiding complete anarchy. Doom praises her insight and explains that individual anarchy leads to chaos, loss of morality, and self-preservation at the cost of progress. He then questions why she rejects anarchy on a personal level but tolerates it among nations. Teleporting them into space, he points to Earth and argues that before his rule, the world was a chaotic mess of selfish, warring nations. He concludes that such disorder by Valeria's own logic should never have been tolerated. Doom teleports himself and Valeria again, as she challenges his true motives, insisting he shouldn't claim he's doing this for humanity or for her. Doom bluntly admits, "I seek glory," stating that uniting the world is his greatest achievement. Valeria counters that his rule disregards freedom and consent, making it fascism. But Doom rejects that idea. He argues that his rule isn't built on lies, but on the undeniable truth that he alone is qualified to unify the world. Valeria tells Doom she can't follow his path, but he insists his rule is proof that Earth's governance can be stable and just. She hesitates, unsure if she wants him to succeed, and Doom tells her to say nothing and let his actions speak for themselves. With a snap of his fingers, he teleports her back home. As she reappears, Sue calls out, asking if she's back for dinner and how her visit with Bentley went. Later, Doom begins his broadcast at the United Nations, addressing world leaders and assuring them that their lives are improving under his rule. The Fantastic Four watches from above in Sue's protective shield, noting a strange portal opening near the UN building. As they prepare for anything, they spot an army of Doombots, confirming Doom's heavy security. The team remains unfazed, with one of them commenting that they've seen worse. The scene ends with Ben charging forward, declaring, It's clobbering time. As the Fantastic Four engages Doom's Doombots, Reed, surprised, confirms they are just as they appear, with no hidden traps. Ben charges in, smashing through the robots in a dramatic attack. Meanwhile, Doom delivers his speech, declaring the creation of United Latveria and promising an end to suffering based on nationality or birthplace. He offers the gift of open borders, allowing people to work and live wherever they choose. The UN members applaud his vision, seemingly accepting his proposal. Johnny and Sue continue their fight against Doom's forces, with Sue using her shields to crush a group of Doombots. Meanwhile, Doom continues his speech at the United Nations, boasting that he has improved schools, hospitals, and borders, granting people freedom to move where opportunity exists. He warns the leaders that none of them could have achieved these changes and that only he can ensure their continued prosperity. Just as he asserts his dominance, an explosion erupts behind him, likely caused by Ben breaking through. The Fantastic Four interrupts Doom's speech, with Ben calling him a fraud and vowing that those who love freedom will never kneel to him. They challenge Doom to either step down and expose his weakness, or lash out in anger, proving their point. Doom remains calm, addressing Reed and mocking the team's eagerness to attack him. Suddenly, the UN hosts in attendance reveal themselves as Doom's loyalists, loading their handguns. Doom taunts the Fantastic Four, asking if they are willing to fight him at the cost of innocent lives. Doom broadcasts his message across the city, informing everyone that the civilians around the Fantastic Four are under his protection. He reveals that the weapons held by his loyalists are rigged to explode if tampered with, making any resistance deadly. Johnny tries to reason with them, insisting they are being used as pawns, but Doom counters that they have willingly committed themselves to his cause. Doom taunts Reed, questioning whether he will uphold their rights or let them die for his resistance, all while the world watches. Doom's armed loyalists have the Fantastic Four surrounded, with Reed hesitating as Doom mocks their resistance. He calls out Ben, highlighting his monstrous transformation and how even Reed has failed to reverse it. As Doom prepares to demonstrate his power, Reed urges Ben not to listen, but Doom insists that only he can determine what truly matters. Doom then traps Ben in a glowing magic sphere, causing him immense pain. Ben screams in agony as Doom's energy pulses around him. Doom completes a powerful spell, permanently stripping Ben of his rocky, monstrous form and reverting him to his human state. The Fantastic Four looks on in shock as Ben, now shirtless and vulnerable, stares at his transformed body in disbelief. Doom declares that Ben is cured and will remain this way forever. The moment leaves both Ben and his teammates uncertain whether this is a blessing or another cruel manipulation by Doom. Ben, now fully human, panics as he realizes that Doom has stripped him of his powers. Johnny embraces him in shock while Reed watches Doom with deep suspicion. Hovering above, Doom declares that the Fantastic Four will be held responsible for the destruction caused at the United Nations. As he prepares to leave, he commands his forces to either detain or defeat them if necessary. Surrounded by his magical aura, Doom ends his broadcast, leaving the citizens in awe of his power. Various citizens share their opinions on Doom's rule, with some praising his policies for allowing them newfound freedom and stability, while others remain skeptical or resentful of the changes. One man argues that Doom has done more for the country than previous leaders, while another worries about the impact of open borders. A woman acknowledges Doom's effectiveness but warns that true leadership comes from learning, not force. In the final panel, Captain Marvel watches the broadcast, realizing the gravity of the situation. She solemnly acknowledges, "Avengers, we're losing." Carol acknowledges that they are losing because they don't fully understand Doom's influence or methods. She proposes a two-pronged strategy, gathering intelligence and striking at Doom's power structure. Scarlet Witch suggests that freeing world leaders from Doom's influence would be key to weakening his international support. Iron Man reminds the group that Doom has beaten them before, but Carol insists that they are stronger now, but will need more from others to fight back. As she walks with the team to another location, she emphasizes that this conflict is bigger than their usual battles. It's global and requires a new approach. She acknowledges that to defeat Doom, they will need unconventional allies, revealing a shocking partnership. With the Masters of Evil, the group, consisting of Madeline Pryor, Baron Mordo, Mysterio, Arcade, and Doc Ock, stands together, ready for battle. MODOK welcomes Iron Man to their ranks, signaling an uneasy but necessary alliance. The panel teases a major conflict to come, as heroes and villains unite against a common, yet extremely powerful enemy who's bent on ruling the world. Doctor Doom,